The root of being a teacher goes to my father and grandfather. I started teaching them alphabet, numbers, colors. Students still think that critical thinking is about criticizing, that don't work for money. I think every woman should be educated in order to be a role model. I have my son and my daughter.
I was scared. So now we'll ask Miss Rima personal questions. Hello everyone, my name is Raviya Gimaeva. I'm a service English teacher, and I opened this YouTube channel to motivate educators all over the world in the ELT sphere. I think we share the same goal. We are educators, motivators, and we are developers of the critical thinking skills. Our learners are supposed to be better than we are, and our goal to know the insights of the teaching and methodology. How will I do it? I will do it by inviting prominent professors and instructors in the ELT sphere, and they will share their success and their methodology and their approaches they use in the classroom. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe. 10 million followers. Today we have a very great professor, Miss Rima Sotlikova. Miss Rima, she is a adjunct professor at Webster University. Thank you for coming for the interview.
Thank you very much, Raviya, for inviting me for your program.
Rabindranath Tagore once mentioned that a lamp can never light another lamp unless it has its own flame. So Miss Rima, you are a very bright example of a woman that always works on herself, that creates an amazing atmosphere in the classroom. And I think for our audience, it will be very interesting to know more about your personality and your childhood. Can you share with us your journey?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Raviya, for your question. If you ask from me about my childhood, then the first story about my childhood came to my mind about being a junior journalist for kids program. So I showed how to cook foods and how to make salads for kids when I was 10 or 12 years old. It was a very enjoyable time for me to work for that channel after my school. So I really enjoyed my childhood, and I can say that another story goes to my age of 5 or 6. Once I asked from my mom to bring 20 dolls for me, and she brought for me 20 dolls, and she was wondering what I was going to do with the dolls. And then I started teaching them alphabet, numbers, colors, so in my native language. At that time, my mom noticed that I was going to choose a profession of being a teacher. Yes, if I remember about my childhood, those are memorable for me and enjoyable.
Oh, that's great. And how did you make a choice to enter World Languages University? Can you share your journey from world languages and to your master's?
Mm-hmm. So I was interested in many subjects at school. Then the most favorite subject was English, of course. And then I decided to be an English teacher. Then I applied to Uzbek State World Languages University. But to tell the truth, during my study years, I couldn't find any subject related to my area of interest because most of them were related to theoretical linguistics. But of course, I never regret to choose the university because I learned a lot. I gained the knowledge of theoretical linguistics and the history of languages, and those subjects were interesting for me, of course. But as I told you that maybe it's because of my ancestors, the root of being a teacher goes to my father and grandfather, because my father was a mathematics teacher and my grandfather was a professor of history subjects. And I observed my grandfather's lecturing classes at the university, and I was really wanted to be an English teacher. And then I wanted to continue my master degree program. I have our local universities in Uzbekistan, but I couldn't enter. And yeah, but then I tried to search scholarships from foreign countries, and I found one scholarship from Indonesia. And I emailed to my professor what course or what major to choose for my master degree program. And I explained my area of interest, that I was going to be an English teacher, and my professor suggested me applied linguistics. And as you know, in applied linguistics, you learn more about how to research, the methods of teaching, sociolinguistics, psycholinguistics. Really wanted to study those subjects and applied to applied linguistics. And I enjoyed my study in Indonesia because I found very interesting subjects related to my interest, and I built relationship with Indonesian friends and professors there, and they suggested me to continue my PhD degree study in the same university.
Yeah, that's what's exactly what I wanted to ask you. Yeah. So after your master's in Indonesia, you decided to continue PhD there. Yeah, your professors advised you because they saw your bright individuality. Did you face any social factors like challenges in Indonesia because the cultures are different there from Pakistan?
Yes, you are right. At first, I didn't think that I could continue my master degree program when I was in Indonesia for the first time because of new climate, country, people, and language. Because at that time I couldn't speak in Indonesian language. Then a lot of cultural shocks I faced in Indonesia. Some of them I can share with you. One of them is about taking shower. So they don't have the shower, the real shower, but they have the bucket and the scooper. So you just take water from with the scooper and take shower.
Like at all at your university or in the country in general?
In the country, it's very difficult to find a place with hot water, actually. So it was somehow cultural shock for me because, as you know, in Indonesia, they don't have 4 seasons. All year, the whole year, you feel summer weather. So it's so hot. So that's why they don't have, and they don't use hot water. So it was cultural shock for me because I was not used to take shower with cold water. And then I tried to find a place with hot water and shower because it was not comfortable for me to take shower with the scooper, taking it from the bucket. So it was the first cultural shock for me in Indonesia. But other cultures that I really appreciate and I still share it with my students. One of them is about when they see people, then they nod their head and give smile. So it's their culture. And it was strange for me at the beginning, but then I also used to it. So I nod my head when we have eye contact with someone on the way, then I nod my head and give smile. So that's their culture. And another one is about when you meet person who is older than you, then you should bow when you pass next to him or her.
It means for everyone?
Yes, when they are older than you, then you should bow your body when you pass next to them. That's their culture, just to show your respect and to show that your level is lower than theirs because they're older people. So it was strange for me at the beginning, but then I really appreciate what they are doing because it's respect for old people. And another one was when I taught English at school in Indonesia. And for the first time, I shared my Uzbek culture with Indonesian students. And at that school, when I stopped my presentation, then they came to me the pupils came to me and started kissing my hand and putting on their forehead, something like this. And it was shocking for me why they are doing that. Then their teacher explained me that that's also their culture, just to show gratitude and respect for teachers. They do that all the time after each lesson.
We have like similarities in Uzbek culture. We don't kiss, but we do it like this.
Yeah, they put on our chest, but they kiss first and then they put on their forehead. So that was interesting for me to know, because there were about 50 pupils in that school. And after my presentation, all of them came to me one by one and kissed my hand and put on their forehead. And then I used to it. So another cultural shock was about having spicy food. I loved spicy food even before I went to Indonesia. But when I was in that country, they asked me about the level of spicy food that I ordered. And I thought that I love spicy food, and I said super spicy. And they said, we have level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I said, let's make it level 5. And then it was too spicy. So in Indonesian context, spicy is too spicy that I couldn't eat at all. And I asked why, and they said, if you say 1 level, then we put 1 pepper. If you say level 2, 2 peppers. So we put in one portion 5 peppers. So it was too spicy.
Did you try this food?
I wanted to try, but I couldn't eat at all. Then I used to say level 1. So that was normal for me. So if spicy food is too spicy in Indonesian context, they call it sambal. So yes. About cultural shock, that's it. But I still miss Indonesia, and I really love people, fruits and foods. I always miss Indonesian nature because it's so beautiful, and they have delicious foods and fruits, and people are so kind there.
So you continued your PhD in methodology, yeah? So your thesis, like final paper, was developing ESP material for ICT students, yeah?
Yes.
So developing materials also their sphere of interest. And why you choose developing materials?
Yes, because in applied linguistics course, methodology subject was included, and I was really interested to continue my study in that area. And I consulted with my professors, and they also advised me to continue PhD study by doing research in methodology. And they were asking about the problematic issues happening in ELT in Uzbekistan. And then I found that it was 6 years ago. I found that the problem was about teaching ESP course, ESP learners, because as you know, it's different from general English teaching. But at that time, I observed teachers of ESP learners, and they were conducting class with grammar teaching only. And one of my friends shared her experience about teaching ESP learners, and she told me that she was not satisfied with her own teaching style of ESP learners, because there was one of group, they came to my friend to learn English, and they were going to Dubai airport to work in the office of call center. And what happened with that group, my friend continued teaching them grammar rules and reading text and translating. But actually for ESP learners who are going abroad to work, let's say in call center, then they need to improve their skills of speaking and listening to understand and to be able to produce language. So she failed because the group of people went to Dubai airport to work, but she mentioned that they were complaining that they took the course for 6 months, but they couldn't speak English at all. And then I found that we should have a model for developing English learning materials specific for ESP learners. So I developed a model that would be applicable for any sphere of the job. So yes, and then I observed some of ESP classes, and then I researched about how to develop materials for general course and ESP course, and combining various models, I came up with the conclusion of developing a new model for teaching ESP learners.
That's great.
So for our in-service or pre-service teachers, ESP is English for specific purposes. Maybe for some of them will not know the definition. So to make it clear, so Ms. Rima, you developed for specific purposes.
Yeah, it's very difficult to teach adults. So it was always a concern how to teach, how to approach them.
So it's great that you developed it. And currently, do you have any research paper? Are you still doing some research? Maybe you have some articles that you can share what you're working on.
Yes, I'm still researching about how to make our classroom effective with appropriate course books, especially for public institutions for the 3rd and 4th year students. I identified that they need a specific course book in methodology course because we have the syllabus and we have the references, and we should read 5 or 6 books to make a topic, to present a topic for methodology course students. But as you know, nowadays teachers are busy, and it will be better if there will be developed specific course book for the methodology course students. And I'm thinking about it to incorporate those books from the references of our syllabus and putting them all together in one specific book for them. And there will be suggested readings at the end of each topic, suggested viewing videos that they can enter directly. If we make it as an ebook, then they can click and go directly to that suggested viewing videos. And also there are some tips and tricks for each classroom, and it will be with visuals. So with those visuals, the topic will be more comprehensible for the learners and interesting to read, because as you know, learners have different learning styles. Some of them are visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So that's why I really want to incorporate all of the issues that would be beneficial for methodology course students.
Thank you. Can I check my questions? Can you share interesting, memorable story from your teaching career?
Yes, of course. I still remember it was so interesting for me when I started my teaching in Indonesia. But when we went to that country, I didn't know anything about the language. But then we started learning Indonesian language. And after 1 month or 2 months, they asked me to teach at the university for bachelor degree students. And I started my teaching. But at that time, I already could understand what Indonesian people were talking about, but I couldn't produce the language. Then when I was teaching in the classroom, the boys and girls were talking about me in their language, because one of the professor introduced me in the classroom, and he mentioned that I don't know anything in Indonesian language. Then they thought that I don't understand them. Then they were talking about me. And at the end of the lesson, I told that fortunately I could understand whatever you talked about me. It was so interesting. But of course, they are so nice people. They didn't talk any negative points, but they were saying to each other if they could get my contact number or something like that.
Well, the same situation happens to me when I teach Uzbek classes. As I look like more European woman, and they start discussing in their native language, and I pretend that I don't understand them at all, and they like sure that I don't understand them. But in fact, at the end of the lesson, I say, "Thank you, Rahmat. I know what you think about me." And this was the same discussing whether they can take my phone number, like contact number, and they're like, but all of the students are so good. And I have never heard some bad intention towards me, even they were discussing in the native language. Yeah.
Yes, the same situation happened with you.
That's happened. But can you also share a very successful story from your life?
Yes, I still remember one of my successful story in my life, and it's related to Malay language. As you know, Indonesian language is in Malay language family, and we studied that language for 1 year before we started our master degree program. And then I was informed that in Malaysia there was a contest, and it was from the Prime Minister, the award of Prime Ministers for Malay language contest. And I participated in that competition, and I was one of participants from 50 countries, and I was alone from Uzbekistan, and they said that I was the first one coming from Uzbekistan to participate in Malay language contest. But after me, I think there are 3 or 4 more participants now. And at that time, I expressed my future plans and in Malay language. And I had a speech in front of 1,000 people, I think.
Oh my God, I saw this video on YouTube. That was so great. Your public speaking skills are on the top level. Even though I didn't understand Malay language, I watched this video from the beginning till the end, and I really enjoyed it. You were so motivational. Like you expressed yourself in such a bright way. That's so great. So, and weren't you scared? Like I saw that the thousands of people sitting, like, and you were so confident.
Yes, it was for the first time for me to be in front of 1,000 people and to be on the big stage. But at that time, before going to that stage, I mastered public speaking skills for myself. And then I identified that public speaking skills is also important for a teacher. So now I understand that besides subject knowledge, teachers should have public speaking skills, methodology, and psychological knowledge to teach. So it was so beneficial for me. I won the 3rd place in that competition. And it was not only for testing myself if I was good or bad in Malay language, but it was also so beneficial for me, for my teaching also, because I learned how to make eye contact and how to be confident in front of the audience. And now I'm using my public speaking skills whenever I'm teaching.
Yeah, I've also teach your students.
Yes.
And you are really a role model for us, like, as I'm your student as well. Like,
we adore your lessons because every time we present, you give us a
very good feedback, constructive feedback, and we know our mistakes, and we know that you are professional and we are receiving feedback from a professional.
Thank you so much. Whatever was best for me, then I really want to share with my students, so it will be beneficial for them also.
Yeah, you're a really great instructor.
Thank you so much.
So, and now we have a part of questions concerning teaching. So, it will be very good and beneficial for pre-service and in-service teachers to hear from a professor on methodology, special tricks. How do you encourage positive learning and critical thinking skills among your learners? How do you incorporate them think independently? How do you do it, Ms. Rima?
Yes, to teach critical thinking is very important in ELT classroom, but some students still think that critical thinking is about criticizing, but as you know, it's not. They are different issues. So criticizing is about when you think about something or someone bad, and it's personally and it's subjective. but critical thinking is more about objective issues. Yes.
Asking question. Why? Yeah.
Yes. In order to encourage critical thinking, we should encourage questioning. It's very trending these days not to label the topic on the whiteboard directly, but we should ask questions to activate our learners' background knowledge first. And then we should ask some more questions if they couldn't find the new topic. And if we manage to get the new topic from our learners, that means we succeed in encouraging critical thinking skills in the classroom. So it's very beneficial to start our class by showing some pictures related to our topic, so they could explore the ideas related to that photo and discover the new topic.
You mean top-down, bottom-up process?
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, and we also need to encourage the highest on the Bloom taxonomy.
Yes, as you know, we know about lower order scale and higher order scale.
Yeah.
Lower order scale is about having knowledge and comprehension, but higher order scale is about analyzing and evaluating. So critical thinking is about more about evaluating. So we should teach them how to evaluate the information. In that case, how we can encourage critical thinking skill in ELT classroom by scaffolding the students or by questioning. When teachers scaffold their students, that means they are helping them to evaluate the information or to find the answer. So it's not always, it's not encouraged these days for teachers to be in the center, but it's encouraged to make the students in the center. So that's why a scaffolding technique will be very beneficial to activate students' background knowledge by asking them. So scaffolding is, when you picture the scaffolding technique, you can imagine a boy really wants to get the apple from the tree, but he couldn't manage to do it because of the height. But you can put something, a little chair maybe, under his feet, and he can go on that chair and can grab the apple from the tree. So we should scaffold our learners in that way to help them.
What values or principles do you prioritize when you teach NLT classes, Ms. Rima?
Very good question, Raviya. I like to incorporate various techniques and strategies in my classroom to make our learners not to feel bored. So that's why teachers should master several techniques and strategies to make their classroom more effective. And I really value teaching principles such as autonomous learning and active engagement, and also cultural awareness and evaluative feedback. When we give our learners independence to choose their topic or to choose their assignment and assessment, they feel safe and they feel comfortable in our classroom. So that's why autonomous learning teaching principle is very important in my classroom. I always give options to choose their assignment or to choose their assessment. And also about evaluative feedback. So this teaching principle is also very important for me because when we assess our students, it's very recommendable to give evaluative feedback for them. They cannot improve themselves in learning environment. So those teaching principles are essential, and also active engagement. Active engagement is very beneficial, and how we can encourage active engagement in our classroom. It's very simple, just putting them in groups and asking them to discuss about the specific topic, so they can share the ideas with each other, and they can gain new knowledge from each other.
And now we are on the post-method era, as Kumara Vaidivelu mentioned. So, and to apply different methodologies, we need to refer to the specific needs of our learners, to what do they need, and to make needs assessment, needs analysis. And question for you, in this post-method era, what innovative approach would you advise for the ELT teachers?
Very good question you asked, Raviya. In post method, nowadays I am applying to hybrid classroom. So sometimes I invite my colleagues from foreign countries online to my classroom. I'll be also there, and my students will be face to face there, but my colleagues' students also will be online, and they can have discussion with each other. So they can ask questions, and my colleagues present a new topic for them online. And it will be very interesting for the learners, not only to gain new knowledge from other lecturers, but also it's very beneficial for learners to understand different pronunciation and accent, because I'm inviting my colleagues, my friends from Indonesia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, India, Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, Iran, and of course they have different accents and different pronunciations. So that's why it will be very beneficial, not only in terms of new knowledge, but also to be familiar with different accents and pronunciation. So this is what I am doing these days with my students. And also, yes, next question you can ask. Oh, no, I forgot.
Okay.
I was scared.
So now we'll ask Ms. Rima personal questions. So Ms. Rima, can I ask you a very personal information how you balance being a professor and mother, wife? You have two small children. How do you balance this to have a healthy lifestyle, healthy work, family balance?
Thank you so much for your question, Raviya. By planning, by setting my goals for 1 week and 1 month, for 1 year and 5 years, and then for 10 years, for short term and for long term. Usually I work from Monday till Friday, and then I try to be with my family on Saturday and Sunday. So Sunday is usually for family time. And if it's time for vacation, then I never postpone my vacation time. I go on holiday. I usually go to foreign countries to explore more. I'm really interested in learning other cultures, languages. So during my vacation, I learn a lot. And then traveling gives me more energy and also new ideas for my teaching, for my profession. So I think traveling helps me a lot. That's it.
Do you travel with your kids and your husband, your family? Or do you prefer to travel alone to get the information, get the balance inside of you and to recharge? Or which type of traveling do you prefer?
Mm-hmm. I prefer traveling with my family because if I travel alone, of course, I'll be thinking about my family, about my kids, what they are going to do. So that's why it will be beneficial for me if I travel with my family on my vacation. I travel alone if I go to international conferences to present my topic because I should focus on how to present my topic or research in that international conference. So that's why usually I travel alone if it's related to conferences. But if it's about holiday, then I go traveling with my family.
Can I ask you, do you go to some trainings? How do you support your mental health? Like,
I think every woman should be educated in order to be a role model for their children. So that's why it's very important raise your children with the knowledge of how to raise smart kids. I have my son and my daughter. My son is 7 years old and he went to school for the first grade, and my daughter is 4 years old and she's in kindergarten. And I can say that I worked with my son from his age of 2 in terms of teaching him languages and also skills. When he was 2 years old, he knew alphabet in English, Russian, Uzbek, and Arabic language. I spent my time with my son every day for 2 and 3 hours, just not teaching, but playing with him and making him to learn more languages. And now he can speak in English, Uzbek, Russian, and also he just started in his school to learn more about Arabic language. So I want to say that we shouldn't be afraid of teaching our kids to know more languages because they can incorporate the languages in their mind because the mind is very flexible at that time. It's high time I consider that it's high time for kids to teach them foreign languages from their early age. So I was not afraid of teaching him different languages because first, some people said that it will be difficult for them and there will be language delay. But then I tried to research about it and I read a lot of articles. What happens if we teach our kids different languages from their early age? But then I considered myself that it's the most appropriate time for them to teach foreign languages, and I never regret about it. And with my daughter, I can say that she just started to learn English language because at that time when I taught my son different languages, I was free, but nowadays I'm busy working in 2 institutions. Yeah, so that's why my daughter just started to learn English.
I understand you because my older daughter, she, at the age of 2, she knew English alphabet, Russian alphabet as well. And I taught her Tatar language as well, yeah, because we are Tatar family. And she knew the Tatar phrases and she understood it fully. And by 3, she could read some phrases in English even, but she understands, and right now she's 5 and she can speak English, she understands the speech, and she's really bright. And as you told about your daughter, my son, he's going to be 3 in January. So, and for him, I have less time to teach him because Adele, she takes lots of time, and I have my studies and my work, and now I'm as busy as you are. But I hope that you, with your responsibilities, you still manage to teach your kids, and I'm so motivated by you.
And you know what happened while I was teaching foreign languages for my son? After 2 years, he started he started to be interested in learning foreign countries and about their flags, about their capitals and presidents. Nowadays, he knows 100 countries with their flags and capitals, but he still remembers some of their presidents, but not all of them. So he can remember their names of presidents of those countries. So I think that's the effect of when we teach them foreign language, then they will be interested in those countries and they explore a lot about their capitals, where the country is situated and what happened in that country. So now he's interested in history and geography also. That's the effect of foreign language teaching, I think.
Yes, it's really important to teach, to educate our kids because they are growing so fast and they will be well developed and they will have a higher self-esteem and they will know their belongings and they will be motivated by us. And I think it's really great.
Yes, I agree with you.
So, Ms. Rima, what advice can you give for the young women pursuing their career in academia? So, what challenges can they meet while obtaining their PhD degree and how to stay motivated in that long journey?
Thank you, Raviya. Yes, there are a lot of students always ask from me about this question. I can say that women shouldn't afraid of going out of their comfort zone because one of the reason is they always say that they are married, they are with their family, and they have kids. But actually, we always have supportive people around us. So all we need is to ask help from them and continue growing professionally. I can say that I have a supportive mom. My mother always supports me whenever I have some issues related to my teaching classes or assessing. As you know, at Webster, I can say that teaching is not difficult, but assessing, it is difficult and challenging. Why? Because we should provide detailed feedback for each student to make them understand what was wrong with their assignment and how they can improve and revise for the next time to submit for their summative. So that's why it's very challenging sometimes to assess students. Sometimes I don't sleep until the morning. I have sleepless nights to check and provide feedback and assess. So at that time, I have my supportive mom. She always takes care of my kids. And also when I submit an article proposal for the international conferences, then I ask my mom again help with my kids because I have deadline for submission and I could manage to submit my articles and go to that country and present my research because of my mother. So we always have supportive people around us. So that's why I advise women to grow professionally by asking help around them because we have very good opportunities these days in our country. If they want to continue their master degree program, they have a lot of scholarships. If they have a C1 certificate, then they can enter the university and continue their master degree program. And they have very good opportunities for PhD program. They have so many scholarships in education. So that's why I advise them not to be afraid of taking risks and continue growing professionally. Because as a mother also, we talked about it before, that it's essential to be educated, to be a role model for their kids. Unfortunately, sometimes I heard that women work for money. Not only women, but people work for money. And I really want to advise that don't work for money. Just work on yourself, grow professionally, explore more, and improve yourself. And then money will come for you. So that's why I always advise for my students when they are struggling to apply institutions for job, then they care about the salary and so on. But I always advise them, don't work for money. Work on yourself, grow professionally, and money will come to you. This is one of the advice for women who are saying that they are with family and they cannot continue their study. Everyone can. I could do it, of course, with the help of people around me, but why not others? So others also can do it. Maybe it takes longer period, but for sure they can do it. To tell the truth, I planned to finish my PhD degree research in 3 years, but it took for me 6 years in Indonesia. Why? Because in that period I had my 2 kids, so that's why it took longer. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but the main issue is, the main point is to continue.
Thank you so much, Miss Rima. That's a really good advice. And I fully agree with you because I, as a mother of 2 kids, it's so challenging to continue my education and to have my workplace and to combine it. And thanks for my mother and my mother-in-law. They are helping me. Without their precious help with my kids, I cannot continue my education. That's really great. And I'm so grateful for them. And I agree with you that women and men, they have the same rights. Why not to be a powerful woman who can continue her studies? I hope one day I will be in your position as well. And I will get my PhD in education and maybe methodology, but I haven't decided yet which field will be my calling, because we need to find a calling, something that ignites you and you want to talk about, you want to make research about it.
So now I'm still in the process of finding my sphere,
But I'm so happy that you come to my interview and you shed a light on your personal life, on your personal development, and you are example of the growing mindset and how women could achieve being a lovely wife, a mother, and a professor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raviya. You are doing really good job at Webster. You are so energetic, and I'm really happy with all students at Webster. They are so energetic and they are eager to learn. I'm always happy to share my experience with all of you. Whenever you ask questions, then I always want to answer based on my experience. I know that it will be more beneficial for others. Thank you so much for inviting me for your program.
Thank you. My dear followers, subscribers, and my dear audience, please feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to leave comments, and support our new project. It will be very beneficial for all ELT teachers how to grow professionally and how to become a better instructor. Thank you, Ms. Rima.
Thank you so much for inviting me.